Well, good morning, everybody. It's Richard Wise here, commentating for the first time with James Chaudry. I think he's going to come and join me. Hopefully it's not going to be like the two Ronnies.
Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
I think we have the pleasure of commentating on Louise and Thadia opening up their first round.
Is that right?
I believe so.
So do you know any of these guys?
Oh, wait, is this the match?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
They're just starting.
Oh, right.
So in the purple top at the far end, we've got Louise, who is one of the founder members, I think, of Slap Pickleball in South London. Stan Johnson with the cap on. And then we've got two players from Yorkshire, Gordon and Pam, who play at Horswick Piccalillies. My partner in crime, James Chaudry, standing here, was in action taking gold yesterday.
Yes, in a very entertaining doubles match, actually, I have to say. It was pretty nervy, but some very good pickleball all around.
It was an epic game to watch, that's for sure. Oh! Oh! I think Stan should have had that, really.
Lou will definitely let them know about that neck cord. I'm sure she'll get her own back. Ooh. One of the things I've found about these courts is they're a little bit slower than the average pickleball courts that most people play on day to day, especially over here in the UK. And I think we're seeing a lot of balls being retrieved from the back that are often winners or forced errors. So I think it makes the game a little more interesting for a lot of these players that expect to be hitting winners and then the ball is actually coming back.
Yeah, it's quite an abrasive surface, isn't it? I mean, you can see when you pick up a ball, it's like somebody's taken sandpaper to it.
It is, and they play on this surface a lot in the States, so I think it's very true to a lot of the really big tournaments you see stateside. But I do feel like a lot of the players here haven't played that much on this type of surface, so it takes a bit of adjusting to.
I think it's fair to say that obviously over lockdown, there's people in this country who have been playing outside, many for the first time, because most pickleball in the UK has historically been played indoors.
Yep.
Often the floors are either wood or ceramic.
Exactly, very, very fast surfaces.
Yeah.
I think that it's also probably the first time a lot of players are using these particular pickleballs as well from Franklin, because you wouldn't really be able to use that on these balls on an indoor wooden or ceramic surface, because it would skid off too fast. So.
Fine shot. Middle wicket was fairly taken there, I would say.
Lou just about getting out of the way of that one.
Have you? There's obviously no one on the scoreboard. Have you heard what the score is?
I have not. I'm hoping that we will hear now. Right. 2-1-1. I think that was. It's a good move there.
Good attempt at poaching. So I think that's 2-1-2.
Bit of
stacking going on.
just long. So we're at 1-2-2.
These early morning points are quite hard to grab hold of by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot in the really good doubles matches. There's been it's been hard to get points. I think there's been a lot of side outs.
Yeah.
Very hard to get into a rhythm of picking up 4, 5, 6 points in a row. Commentator's curse, though, is going to happen now. Very nicely to pick up. Very good, just dropped in there. And that's the first point on the board for a little while there.
Yeah, it is. So 2-2-2.
Great backhand volley to take it away from Stan.
Two, 2-1 with Pam to serve.
Just a little bit too much juice on that one, I think.
Whoa, that was a good put away.
Very, very clean. From the early parts of this match, I haven't seen a huge amount of dinking where all 4 players are up at the net trying to get the better of each other in the short part of the court. It's been a lot of one team back and one team forward at the moment.
Maybe a bit of early morning nerves, do you think?
Yeah, very much so. I think, first game, it's important to start off well in the group to try and qualify for the knockout rounds, but definitely a little bit of early morning nerves. It's a good point all round there. Very good.
Nice one to win.
Yeah.
So the lines have been taped onto the court and they're holding out remarkably well, to be honest with you.
They are actually. I'm very surprised at it. The one thing that has been interesting is because the lines are being taped, they're quite shiny. The ball does slide off them very quickly, so you are seeing a few players surprised by just how quick that ball skids off the line. I think it catches you out every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a complete contrast to the rest of the surface,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gordon Pimperton, who's put that one away, is an ex-badminton player, or at least he maybe still plays badminton. But you can see in the quality of his smashes that he's quite used to taking the ball overhead.
Yeah, very good overhead. That's well played up at the net there. That was a tough reach to get that first overhead back.
Stan is also a very, very accomplished badminton player and has very, very, very quick wrists. So you, having played him many times, it looks often like he's going to do a drop shot, and then suddenly that flick of the wrist and it's coming at you at a rate of knots. That was a good get.
Yeah, very good get. Might that one have been travelling out? Not really sure there. Stan with good reaction volley though to put the pace on it and make sure that point was finished.
You'll have to excuse me getting slightly distracted there. Your mixed doubles partner just pinched my behind as she walked past. It was a bit unexpected.
Benita, very cheeky. Very, very cheeky. I'm looking forward to getting on court with Benita though. She's a very, very strong player in the women's.
Yeah, well, she had a cracking day yesterday.
Oh yeah, that women's final, the doubles final, was brilliant to watch. Really, really high quality that. Going back to your point a few minutes ago about some of the players coming from different types of racket sports, and you're seeing Stan and badminton background, I think it's quite interesting looking around all the courts here and seeing that all different types of racket and paddle sports are being played. And I think you can tell, being a former tennis player myself, you can see that the way I hit the ball is different from some of the badminton players or some of the squash players. And I think I can start to pick out who comes from what kind of sport.
You definitely can.
And
you definitely can.
Every single one of them has their own strengths and bring something a little unique to the game. And I think it's really interesting to just watch those sort of matchups.
Yeah, comparing this to the English Open a couple of years ago, there's some really good tennis players who've come into the sport over the last couple of years, and the amount of driving, high quality driving of the ball at the people at the net, rather than the third shot drop, has changed the dynamics of the game, I think, quite a lot. I practice drill a lot at the third shot drop, and if you're given a sort of half court return of serve, then of course the third shot drop isn't necessarily the best thing to do. And
I completely agree.
So I think a lot of people will be going home from this kind of tournament and will be thinking about drilling how to deal with a fast drive coming at them bodyline. Benita.
and Benita's trying to cheekily get into our little commentary again. No, I completely agree, and I think a lot of it's about comfort, isn't it? And I think tennis players are so used to driving the ball, and they back themselves to be able to hit a really big ball at a net player and react and then come in. And I think that has changed a lot. I know when I first started learning the pickleball, the importance of that third shot drop and the practice of that was really key. And as I was practicing, I didn't feel all that comfortable hitting it that well because it was a very different skill set. And then, playing around trying to figure out what my game style was going to be, I started just hitting it, and actually found that a lot of people struggle to deal with that at first.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's not necessarily just a tennis drive, and I think that's where there's a little bit of confusion. Because if you do just try to hit the tennis shot, it flies.
Yeah.
And everyone here, especially English Open or even English Nationals, they're good enough to just get out of the way and let that ball fly out. I think what you're seeing is that the wrist action for a topspin from a tennis player, they're starting to get that. So it's not just a drive, it has that little bit of turn that just dips down, and it's just enough that it's going to drop in deep, or it's causing someone to hit that first volley up, which is quite nice as a tennis player.
Yeah. Would you say it's maybe more akin to almost like a table tennis? Like a table tennis drive?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good observation. there are a few table tennis players here that I played one, in fact, and the way he got his hands through the ball and over the top of the ball, it was really difficult to deal with. So yeah, I think that's a really good observation. I think probably true. So it's that mix between tennis and table tennis.
Yeah.
I think you're seeing a lot of these racket and paddle sports mixing up now.